Hey everyone, it's Teen Dad Gaming, back with another episode of Cincinnati Red Franchise. We're on part 10, and today we're going to be getting back our team captain, Jonathan, India, after getting injured for about 2 months. Only after 67 games after coming back off a really good bounce back, like playing really good. And we're going to be getting him back this year. And we signed him to an extension, pretty much of a steal. And so basically, we're just going to be seeming to, and now he's back. And so let's get him in the lineup, which he's playing third. And I want to get him up in the lineup, obviously, which brings us another righty, which is exactly what we need. And I want to drop, what's his name? Ian Happ down because he's been struggling a little bit in the 3-hole. And we're going to have him batting second. And I think that's a good fit for him. Batting second. But now we gotta find a place for Sam Haggerty to play, which he's probably gonna take over, I guess, center field. Yeah, center field. It's a lot of lefties in a roll. We'll do that, something like that. For lefties, maybe like that. So for the moment being, we have to send someone down, which will be getting called back up in just a few days. But we're going to be getting in September, and we're going to be finishing up September and probably doing the off season. I don't know. And so we can call 2 people up. Ellie De La Cruz not getting called up, not at all. Definitely struggled this year, so he's going to finish the year off. Probably won't start off next season in the majors. He's injured. Zach Veen, I mean, I might be down to call him up for a little bit. Hendrick, not doing too good. Jay Allen's been doing good on base. That's about all I can say. That's about all I can say. Let's look at the 40-man, see who we got on the 40-man. I think I know who I want to call up for hitters, but I don't know for pitchers. Maybe just... I'm calling up Andrew. Already 24. He's having a good year in the minors. I'm not sure if he's going to be that good, but I want to call up Jay Allen. And I want to play a game with him because I think he's been really good. And, you know, I think he deserves the chance. We just need to get... He's a lefty, ain't he? No, he's not. And there's still a good chance that we might... We're 4.5 games back, so we gotta get a little hot. But there's a good chance we could get a playoff spot via fucking whatever it's called. What's it called? Wild card. I get this game in with Jay Allen, see how he plays. He's had about 5 at-bats, already got its first major league hit. but we haven't played with him, so we're gonna run it with him. Another righty in the lineup. We really need to sign a good righty, maybe a righty first baseman this year. In the offseason, we'll definitely need a first baseman to hold it down.
Hello, baseball fans, and welcome. MLB The Show has
I do plan to spend big this offseason.
Cincinnati Reds and the Milwaukee Brewers. John Shambi, Chris Singleton with you. We got a rubber match on our hands today, partner.
Yeah, the final game of a 3-game set. They've split the first 2, and regardless of how important the series is within the larger picture of the season, it's a game you want to get up for. Every series
hopefully we can split the series.
We should see a fun matchup.
I'm gonna get one of the best pitchers, one of my favorite pitchers in the major is Corbin Burns. I'm pretty sure it's a free agent in this offseason.
Corbin Burns. And Siggy, we were talking earlier about how he's doing a great job navigating
leading off the afternoon in Cincinnati.
I had to change my hitting view for the video. Sorry. See, cutter, curveball, server, change, slider, sinker. He hits that right to the first baseman. Close pitch, I don't know how anyone really lays off of that.
But for some reason, he gets looser, the ball comes out of his hand with more life, and he's able to
Jonathan Innie, I'm so happy he's back.
tough situations and get his team back in the dugout.
High fly ball lifted.
Just late on that cutter. It's gonna be a light fly out.
Calls it in, 2 away. 2 outs, base is empty. Jake Fraley, the next to hit for the Reds. 3 hits
Really,
last
one of our
night.
best hitters on the team. I don't think he'll hit even close. One of our best hitters. One of the best eyes. On base percentage of 367. Slugging 433, OPS over 800. Yes, sir. Please. He's in front of that circle change. That just dotted him. But he crushes that cutter into the gap. That's going to be at least a double for Fraley on a good swing on an inside cutter.
It's a 2-out double.
Couldn't have timed it up any better than that. Nice
What a swing from Fraley.
Spin off of it. That's the key. You still have to extend your baseball in order to hit a line drive like that.
Now the Reds cleanup hitter, Tyler Stevenson.
And Boog, I'd say he's due.
And he goes opposite way with that. That's back-to-back doubles to score the first run of the game.
He'll score, and it's 1-0.
Houston gets into second safe, and the Reds take a 1-0 lead.
You know, I was watching his rounds during batting practice today. So impressed with his ability to let the ball travel, go back up the middle and the other way. Sometimes when you step in the box during the game, you get a little
Oh, he holds back on that one.
But so far,
The second half of the season, he's kind of fallen down a pretty good amount. He had a really good first half of the season.
In the air to left center.
Just late on that, but Yelich is there to catch it. So the Reds take a 1-0 lead in the top of the first.
But a run will score in the inning on this RBI double. It's now a 1. Back here at the ballpark. Our starter in this one,
Got Paul Melvin up.
And Chris, he's hoping for some better fortune moving forward.
Got his first major league debut in his last episode.
Swings and misses and perhaps get more strikeouts because hitters are batting over 300 against him, and
And he swings on the inside fastball.
Exit velocity's got to be pretty good when you have that kind of batting average. So he's going to have to find a way to do something different in this terrain.
Barely holds up on that cutter.
Appeal down to third. He did not go around. And that one is lifted in the air. Fraley should have it.
That's the first out of the inning.
Yeah. Here's Yelich at the dish.
3-time Silver Slugger, having a good year.
And down the lefty.
That was right down the middle.
Pitch.
That's a ball.
Good swing at that sweeping curve.
Knocks that one away. And
Early on that fastball.
Here's a 2-2. And a good eye.
Barely misses that.
Especially with 2 strikes.
3-2 count. He's late on that fastball. Yelich really working the count this at bat.
And a pitch.
He throws in that cutter and he's late on it. That's 2 outs.
Pat makes the grab, and there's 2 away.
And bringing up one of the better hitters, William Contreras. Total finesse. The Brewers would love to get him on their team. Swings over that sweeping curve. Early on that fastball, you don't like to see that.
The wind, the kick, and the 1-2.
He was late on that cutter to strike him out, and that's a 1-2-3 inning to Paul.
Back here in Milwaukee, second inning set to go. And now the designated hitter for the Reds, Austin Meadows. Right-hander kick steals. That's off the mark. 2-1.
Good take by Austin Meadows. Just grounds that out to the first baseman. There for it.
And the batter now is Joey Votto.
Number 19.
6-time All-Star. Love to see that. Placed him in the second round. The Reds in 2002. Oh, and he crushes that circle change right down the middle, but that's right to the center field, man. That's good contact by Joey Votto. Just a bad luck.
But sometimes you hit it too hard and right at someone. One of those loop hits to get a knock sometimes.
There's a swing.
And Luis Garcia crushes that ball into deep right field, and it's gone. That's a solo home run for Luis Garcia.
He leads the yard to right, his 7th home run of the season, and they add to the lead. It's 2-0.
He's been really good since he came up for the All-Star break. That's going to bring up the man, Jay Allen, number 69. He's in front of that cutter. I still think he has a little way before he becomes a regular in the major leagues. But I think he's ready to catch some at bats just to see exactly where he's at. Fouls off that curveball. Corbin is already at 36 pitches. Oh, and that's right up the middle. He's fast, but he ain't fast enough, and that's a 3rd out. But the Reds extend their lead by 1, making it 2-0.
Ready to go for the last half of the inning. Now the first baseman, Rowdy Tellez.
A lot of the hitters have been early on his fastball, and it's not like it's a low fastball. It's normally up there in the 90s. Lays off that low fastball.
Ricky Holiday, our umpire behind the dish, known as pretty fair umpire for both hitters and pitchers.
Yeah, I think that's right.
That's sweeping curve from over near, and he lays off.
You can't always be sure how it's going to go with those borderline pitches as the game
He's in front of that fastball, and he strikes him out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Paul. Wasn't he on the Brewers? He was, yeah. That's what I thought.
Here's Orlando Arcia. All the strike, the pitch. Just missed.
Barely it's off of that sweeping curve. He's behind on that fastball. One of the only hitters on the team so far has been behind on the fastball. That cutter's right down the middle, but luckily he misses that. He's going to be kicking himself over that one. That's right down the middle, and he crushes that deep into foul. Looks like Paul's control has been a little all over the place to start the game. And that's deep, and Orlando Arcia has made it a 1-run game. Bottom of the second with a solo home run. His control has been airy since the game started, and that was really down the middle.
Now here is Tyrone Taylor. The 2-1. Just missed.
That's a 3-1 count.
That's in there, and that is strike two. One down, base is empty.
That's deep into right field. And Fraley make it. Fraley's there, and he makes a good catch to make the second out of the inning.
Number 12 will hit next.
Paul already to 40 pitches.
That's down and in.
I mean, fastball he's been able to. The only pitch he's been able to regularly get in the zone is a fastball. That's not even promised.
Fouls one off. 2-2. Center field. Allen has this one sized up. And that is that.
So the Brewers cut it down to a one-run game on a solo home run.
Welcome back. Stepping in, Gavin Lux.
The second baseman, Gavin Lux.
Ball to strike.
Swings on the inside cutter, not the best swing. On a pitch that normally Gavin Lux isn't going to be swinging at.
Jonathan India at the plate.
The third baseman,
Wide to right his first time.
Jonathan India.
And it is 2-1.
90 miles on his circle change. But he swings at that low away cutter. Get him swinging, and that's a ground out from one third baseman to the next. This will be a Jake Fraley who had a double in his last at bat. Been really good this series.
Cincinnati, Jake Fraley, 1 for 1 with a double and a run scored. Pitch misses. Now 2 balls and a strike.
Looks like he's being a little cautious with him in this at bat after doubling the first time up. Doesn't want to make another mistake.
He crushes that one deep center field. But he makes a great catch to get that ball. Can Paul have a good bounce back inning? 1-2 count. Did he get him? Oh, that pitch could have gone either way.
And a pitch. Still 2-2 after the foul ball. Here comes a pitch. And now it's filled up.
Inside cutter making a 3-2 count.
Foul. We'll see another payoff pitch.
A lot of batters making a really long bat. And he gets him on the 3-2 pitch.
Excellent location on that inside fastball. Really locked him up. And as a hitter, it's not typically what
I'm pretty sure it's better against lefties than righties.
You can be a little bit hardy with 2 strikes. Hard to tell if he was fooled.
Yeah, he is.
Or if he thought it'd be called a ball, but either way,
and he swings at that one, and that's going to be a ground out to Gavin Lux.
And 2 straight set down to begin the bottom of the 3rd. Back to the
Bryce Rang, surprisingly, has had a really good year. Well, not really good year, but a good year. Oh, and that was a high swooping curve that he was in front of. Wow. That was a really close pitch. I can't believe that was called a ball. It's robbed of his strikeout, but he strikes him out anyways. It's a 1-2-3 inning.
And welcome back. Here's the catcher, Tyler Stevens.
Tyler Stevenson.
And a pitch. So,
That away cutter's been getting to the righties in the lineup.
Showing great discipline at the plate, and patience definitely seems to be the name of their game in this one. They're doing a good job of working the pitch count, and they've been able to push a couple of runs across to score.
In front of that cutter, just a light out to center field though.
Tracks it down for the out. 1 down.
Ian Haps up. Ooh, and he just pops up that circle change. Got under that one.
Makes the ground on the left. And it's 2 outs. 2 outs, base is empty. Austin Meadows now.
Austin Meadows.
Here's a 1-1.
He's late on that cutter. high. Could have been a ball. Could have been a strike.
Pitch misses.
Lays off a
Balls,
close
2
circle
strikes.
change. Get a 2-2 count.
And there's a ball.
It's a 3-2 count for Austin Meadows. He's late on that cutter, thinking it was going to be outside and just cut it in. You're going to see that a lot from Corbin Burns. He's got really good break on that cutter. It's late on that cutter right down the middle. Early, actually. My fault. And he swings at the high cutter to strike out on ball 4.
Ready to go. Bottom to go. Now it's Christian Yelich.
The left fielder, Christian.
And now the count.
Swings to that cutter.
The swing and a miss.
Crushes that to deep. Not deep, but foul. He crushes that for his leadoff single. First hit the Brewers have hit since the home run in the second. And that's right down the middle. No one's there at third base to make the play. Jonathan India ran from third place, and good base running from Christian Yelich to get to third.
He was a strikeout victim his first time.
And that's a great pitch from Paul.
Usually doesn't work out for success, but
He gets robbed of a strikeout again. And he walks him. Make the bases loaded with no outs.
on the take on the full count, but I guess he saw it really well. It's a really nice plate appearance. Well, this is a tough situation with the bases loaded, but the healthiest mindset is just try to get out one hitter at a time. Hitter's got some good opposite field power. What I like about something
Comes home with it for one.
And they get the clutch double play at home in first place. What a double play by the Reds.
very well done by the defense.
What a double play.
Let's go on the run at home plate. A lot can go wrong on that play. And yeah,
Let's get a replay on that. Great heads up play from Jonathan India to throw home, knowing he could get the force out. Great catch and throw from Tyler Stevenson to Joey Votto to get that double play, the 5-2-3 double play.
but they look like they've worked on that play quite a bit.
Pitch misses there. 2 balls and a strike. 2 outs. 2 in scoring position.
He's in front of that sweeping curve, high sweeping curve, not where you want that sweeping curve at all. That one's low. And he gets the call there. So he works out of the inning, bases loaded with no outs, and he gets out of
A
it.
lot of adrenaline, we can see it right there. And sometimes you just got to let it.
All set for the start of the inning. Now, Joey
We're going to get some players warmed up because he is already at 80-something pitches. Joey Votto in front of that cutter, but he just pulls it foul. Corbin Burns only at 66 pitches at a good point in his pitch count for the 5th inning.
The next pitch misses, and it's 2-2.
41 strikes, 26 balls. And he swings at that curveball, which Corbin Burns has not thrown a lot, so I think it kind of threw Joey Votto for a loop when he threw it. Throwing the circle change more.
And he deals.
He threw the curveball and it was hanging, and Joey Votto did not miss that, and he crushes it to make it a 3-1 lead in the top of the 5th. What a swing from Joey Votto, and what a mistake from Corbin Burns.
One on the board. It's 3-1.
A good hitter gets pitch recognition early. He saw exactly where that was going to be. The challenge
It was a hanging curveball.
come out of your swing. He stayed on it and got all of it.
Now it's Luis Garcia.
Luis Garcia, who hit a home run in his last at bat. What can he do this time?
Righty delivers. And downstairs.
Always exciting to see a leadoff home run in an inning. Kind of gets the offense fired up, and you start to expect a big inning.
Looks like Corbin Burns really going to that curveball this inning. The Reds are going to have to adjust.
And the righty deals. And another ball.
Lays off that circle change to make it a 3-2 count. Oh, and he strikes him out on the dotted cutter coming back into the zone. What a pitch from Corbin Burns.
The center fielder, Jay Allen.
A 1-2.
That's cutter right up the middle. Is he going to run this one out? And he is for an infield single. That's going to bring up Gavin Lux with the 1 out, man on first.
That's an earned infield hit.
And now it's Gavin Lux.
He slide steps, expecting the steal from Jay Allen.
Good speed on the base pass. He handles the bat very well. I wouldn't be surprised if the skipper puts on some type of hit and run or a run and hit.
Swing and a
Oh,
miss,
and he
now
swings at
2-2.
the inside cutter, which has been a weakness for Gavin Lux so far this game.
You field the ball cleanly and get 1 out first. It's going to be tough to get 2 with this kind of speed in the batter's box.
Jay Allen takes off. Curveball, good throw. He makes it to second base. Let's see the stat cast on that. That was a very close play.
Often seems to be on the safe side of these steal attempts, Chris.
Yeah, you see that plus speed, and he needed
Seemed to get a bit of a late break, so he got lucky that he threw a curveball, because if that was a cutter or a sinker, he would have been gunned.
Here's a 3-2. Sharp grounder.
And he just hits that the other way, and that steal comes into a big deal. Allen's going to score on that.
The run comes in. It's 4.
And that's good base running by the Reds to get that stolen base, and then a single afterwards. That's going to bring Jonathan India up with a 3-2 count.
Jonathan India, the next to hit for the Reds. Swung on,
And he
belted.
crushes that cutter deep center field, and he catches it.
Warning track. In now for the Reds, Jake Fraley.
1 for 2 on the day with a double. Been making good swings. Almost hit 1 out his last at bat.
Found back our way.
That inside cutter gets him swinging.
2013 in the playoffs. He caught one as the Red Sox played the Rays in the division series.
I sacrificed the bracelet. It was my wrist.
He's off.
and my
That's a hard pitch to lay off that Jake Fraley just laid off of.
Up and throwing for manager Craig Counsell.
Corbin Burns has thrown over 30 pitches this inning.
Next pitch is outside.
It's another 3-2 count. Runner will be off.
Runner will be in motion, so something in the gap should definitely score.
But he's late on that cutter,
Yelich,
and it looks like Yelich is going to catch that one.
and that'll do it.
The Reds strike for 2.
Back here at the ballpark. Here's the center fielder.
Can we get one more inning out of Paul to get the quality start and be able to get the win on the day?
Putting up a nice inning on offense, got some runs across. This is where you look for the starter to go out there, have a shutdown inning. Don't give that other team any hope. You just hope that he can get through this inning, get the bats back up there while they're hot.
Inside cutter.
On the ground.
Oh, and Joey Votto tries to make the diving play, but he's not going to be able to. Jake Fraley gets there, and that's going to be a leadoff double for the Brewers. And that's going to be Paul's day. 4 innings, 1 run, responsible for the next run.
But all he's trying to do at this point is help his team win.
Andrew Abbott. Now on a pitch out of the pen here. He's making his second
89.
appearance of the season.
Andrew.
And he strikes him out on the 88-mile 2-seam.
Frustrating end to the at-bat for the hitter, and I'm sure that's going to sit on him for a little while. You want to be ready to hit the
And that
fastball.
changeup
Sometimes
barely
you overthink
misses.
things, and I think that was the case right there.
And a pitch. Good eye right there.
That's a 3-1 count for Joey.
3-1.
He lays off a hard pitch layoff, and that's going to be a walk.
So the batting
Make it
order
first
turns
and
over.
second.
This is Bryce Terang. The 1-1 is fouled off.
Laid on that
All eyes on the
fastball
double
right
play
down the
ball in this
middle.
spot. No better way to get out of this inning.
Next offering is fouled back. 1-2 now. Spoils the 2-strike pitch, and he'll see another. Runners at first and second with 1 gone.
In front of that fastball, fouling everything off
Also
Bryce's.
really good at bat. What I like about this guy, his bat stays in the zone for a long time.
And he swings at the low fastball for strike 3.
And now it's
It
Christian
doesn't get
Yelich.
any easier here with Christian Yelich, a great hitter.
2 outs. Check swing, now an appeal to
I don't know
third.
about that,
And
Chief. It really looked like he
according
swung.
to Dave Lawrence. 2 outs. Couple of base runners at first and
And
second.
he swings over the curveball to make it a 2-2 count.
Good eye right
Lays off
here.
the changeup.
He should get a pretty good pitch to hit here with the 3-hole hitter coming up if he's walked.
Comebacker to the mound.
And the Reds get out of it.
That's the 3rd out.
It's 4, so technically 4 scoreless innings for Paul. And they bring in a long reliever, 5.22 ERA. That's not what you like to see.
Here at American Family Field. Started at 6, John Shelby with Chris Singleton.
Fastball, slider, curveball, circle change. And he crushes that 12-6. That's right to the center field man.
And there's 1 down.
Man, that's one of those at-bats where you have to remind yourself it's about the process. You did everything right there. Nothing to show for it. But in your mind, you have to convince yourself that it was a very good at-bat.
Oh, and that's an inside pitch.
Gets out of the way.
Ian Happ.
That one.
But Ian Happ crushes that fastball right down the middle. That's going to deep field. A warning track, and it's gone. That's a solo home run for Ian Happ. Crushed that fastball right down the middle. Just a deep center field. 22nd home run of the season.
They're having a lot of fun at the plate in this one. They've got the long ball working for them on autopilot.
1 out, base is empty. Here is Austin Meadows.
And Austin Meadow crushes a hanging 12-6 curve. Make it back-to-back home runs for the Reds after the Brewers bring in Jason Junk. And the Reds are just running away with this.
It's 6-1. And now here is Joey Votto. He's already homered in this game. Swings.
Oh, and Joey Votto's late on that high up fastball. Not the best pitch to swing at all. And he swings over the 12-6 curve for a strikeout.
I gotta think that was the plan all the way. He set him up with the high
Luis Garcia
fastball
up.
and then bury that curveball down low to get him swinging. Now,
Can he
especially
add
when
on?
effective pitchers work up in the zone these days. That's a devastating combination.
The 1-1 is fouled off. The next offering
It's a
misses.
low fastball, make it a
Count down
2-2 count. Luis Garcia showing good discipline in this game for someone who doesn't walk a lot.
On the ground, out to short.
That's right to the shortstop. He's gonna make the play. The Reds score for 2 more after back-to-back home runs by Ian Happ and Austin Meadows.
And this is now a 6-1 ball game. You're watching Major League Baseball exclusively on the show. Back here in Milwaukee, and here's the catcher, William Contreras. That just misses.
Barely misses
Now
that
2 balls and a
fastball.
strike. Worm burner into the outfield.
And he
for a
hits
knock.
that changeup for a leadoff single from William. First hit he's got in this game, surprisingly for such a good hitter.
And now it's Rowdy Tellez.
So clutch, you could argue that he's been this team's MVP this year.
And that's just hit to the second baseman. That's a double play. Hate the Brewer fans hate to see that 4-6-3 double play.
Orlando Arcia. He's already homered here in this one.
Orlando Arcia.
And Fraley's gonna run for it, and that's a 1-2-3 inning technically.
Attention,
For the
please.
seventh, we have a new pitcher on the mound.
Aaron Ashby.
He pitched yesterday.
27 innings, been really good. Hasn't really had too many opportunities in the majors other than 2022. Had 100 innings, has a 4 ERA in 184 innings, $4 million a year. He's been good for them.
And once again,
Here's a Jay Allen up, who got his second major league hit in his last at bat versus a lefty, which he plays better against.
Well, these Reds, simply put,
Let's
are
see,
producing a
sinker,
lot of
sliders,
quality
circle
swings.
change, 12-6,
Everything
and
seems to be
fastball.
clicking. And the 6 extra base hits in the game kind of tells you
Ooh,
everything
and that
you
sweeps
need
him
to
off the
know.
plate on the
They're not
inside
getting
slider,
fooled
almost
at all.
gets him.
and now 2-2. Swing and a
Oh,
high
and that's a
fly
good
ball
swing
to
on
left.
an
Now
inside
let's see
slider.
that.
But
And
Yelich
this
is
one
going
down.
to be there to catch it.
Just pulled off of it a little bit right there. That front shoulder coming open instead of
Devin
staying
Lax
low.
up, hit a
If he does
clutch
that, he's gonna be
RBI
able to
single in
go
his
up the
last
middle
at
the
bat,
other way with some authority
and he strikes
instead of
out this
fly
at bat
Swings
on
through
low
it, and that's a
slider.
strikeout.
Jonathan India 0 for 3 on the day.
Jonathan.
I like what you want to see from who I consider to be the captain of the team.
Out to
He's going to
short,
crush
Terang.
that to the shortstop, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Aaron, which is what the Brewers really needed, being down by 6.
And welcome back.
Leading off
And now the
for
right
the
fielder,
Brewers,
Tyrone
The
Taylor.
right fielder, Tyrone Taylor.
That one's in
He
there.
dots him on that fastball. What was it? Yeah, 24.
One miss. The pitch.
Ooh, and that curveball was hanging, but luckily Tyrone fouls it off. Try to get that curveball a little lower. He does, but he doesn't swing at it, making a 3-2 count.
That one
And he
misses.
dots him up on that 2 seam, but he doesn't get the call there. Reds have just been getting robbed this game, while the Brewers have been getting all the calls.
He's a hitter. We'll take that all day.
Del Rio.
And one
Swings
two.
over that changeup. That's what you want to see in that changeup.
Minimize the threat by playing sound defense. Hopefully the pitcher.
Oh, and India fumbles it. And no one's out, making it first and second with no outs. But the air on Jonathan India, not what you want to see.
Especially when you think it's a pretty routine ball to handle. Really easy to think ahead to the transfer and the throw before you actually bring it into your glove.
They say you win.
Luckily, he swings at that curve to make it a 1-2 count.
Cracks his bat, pops him.
India's going to catch that one and not
Pulls that
fumble
one
it
down.
for the first
There's
out
one
of the
down.
7th inning.
2 on with 1 out. Now it's the DH, Joey Weimer. He's on
That's another pop-up, back-to-back pop-ups.
done.
After first and second, that's what you want to see.
Now
Bryce
batting,
Terang up now for the Brewers.
He swings over that high changeup. That's not where you want that changeup.
Little trouble with this one behind the plate. Nothing
Making
happening
it
on
a
the
2-2
bases.
count.
2-2 now. Up the middle. Oh, look
What
at
a play by Luis Garcia.
In time. Got
What
it.
a sliding play to save a run from scoring.
6-1. Joel Pike on the pitch here.
Joel's been really good. 6 innings, 1.78. It's really been more of a team effort this game. No one specific player has been really good, but all of them have been good enough together. Slider, fastball, sinker, circle, change. Ooh, Jonathan I mean not Jonathan. Jake Fraley crushes that. And that's the 4th home runs by the Reds. 4th solo home run by the Reds. 18th home run for Jake Fraley on a fastball right down the middle.
With a 6-run lead, there are fans that are starting to head to the exits.
And next will be the cleanup hitter, Tyler Stevenson. 1 for 3. Swing and a miss. That is strike 2.
He just fouls off that slider after swinging over the previous one, making it a 1-2 count. He lays off that slider just barely. What a take by Tyler Stevenson. Swings at that slider, but the shortstop's there for it on a jumping play. What a play by the shortstop. I'm pretty sure that's Bryce Turan. What a play by Bryce. Nice throw, nice jumping play. A little Derek Jeter in here. Yes, that is Bryce Turan. What a throw by the young shortstop. He had hit a solo home run in his last at-bat. Swings at that low and away sinker, making it a 2-2 count. A bit late on the sinker. Maybe needs to choke up on the bat a little bit. Swings at the circle change just outside the zone. Knowing our look this game, that would have been called strike 3. He crushes that to the first baseman. Pitcher is going to make a good play covering, and that's going to be the 2nd out of the inning. Yeah, I'm going to get it in.
Tape measure shot last time.
Another solo home run that Austin Meadows hit in his last at bat.
Next offering is foul.
Fouls off that fastball. Outside fastball. Lays off the high fastball, evening up the count 2-2. Where will Joe go from here? He goes for the back foot slider, but it lands for the 3-2 count. Austin Meadows is going to crush that fastball deep right field. That's going to be a 2-out double for Austin Meadows for his 2nd hit of the game.
It's a double and his 2nd hit. I'm sure he feels really good about that one. You connect and it jumps off the bat like that.
So Votto struck out in his last at bat, so I'm sure he's looking for a little bit of revenge in this one.
1-1 now. Now a screamer,
and that's deep left field. That's going to be a RBI double for Joey Votto.
As the runner scores from 2nd. It's 8-1, and he's got a double.
2 consecutive base hits for these guys here. That was a thing of beauty. He may have been a little behind the pitch, but by getting that barrel into the hitting zone early on in his swing, he was able to meet it.
And that's going to be a no. He's going to make that catch. Never mind. The Reds score for 2 more, making it an 8-1 game. Swings at that fastball, making it a 1-2 count.
The 1-2.
Swings the slider and strikes him out.
Just a great slider right there, and I think the key for pitchers and what hitters don't want to see is if a pitcher
back-to-back strikeouts coming out of the pen. Exactly what you want to see from someone like AJ Puck.
And right there, excellent execution.
Fastball right down the middle. Rowdy Tellez for some reason laid off.
2 outs. That one missing low.
Well, they kept him pretty quiet in this series. Still doesn't have a knock. I know you want to get that.
And he strikes out the side out of the pen. That's exactly what you want to see. They're going to bring in one of their best pitchers. A sub-1 ERA in 30 innings. Okay, sir. Like casually. Sinker, slurve, circle change, fastball.
And ready to hit now for Cincinnati, Jay Allen.
He's a side armor.
And it's 1-2.
That's why.
Right there, tied him up on the hands. If I'm out there on the bump, I'm going right back in there.
And it's even up.
He's going to go back to that serve that he previously swung at, but he's not going to get the swing here, even in the count to 2-2. But he's going to swing at that slurve. That's going to be pretty deep. But the center fieldman's there for it. Good swing from Jay Allen.
Every day during batting practice, these outfielders get about 10 minutes of balls in the gaps. They practice this. When the game comes, they make the play perfectly.
Gavin Lux, 1 for 4 on the day when he's one of our best hitters on the team, so that's not what you want to see. Can he make it 2 for 5, or will he go 1 for 5 on the day?
Left-hand hitter waits. Fouls it back with 2 strikes. The pitch.
That's right up the middle. That's going to be 2 for 5 for Gavin Lux for his second hit of the game.
Gotta love the resiliency he showed in that at bat.
Inside sinker, and he just kind of inside outsides it. And then, yeah, 0 for 4 on the day. But he's going to walk here, making it 2-1. 3-2 count for Jake Fraley. Lefty, lefty, not his strongest suit.
2 on, 1 out.
He's in front of that circle change.
Remains 3-2.
Hanging in there pretty good against the lefty.
And now the lefty.
And he swings over that circle change for a clutch strikeout for the pitcher. Bad strikeout for the Reds. He's going to bring up Stevenson, who's good against lefties. Let's see what he can do. 2-1 count.
The 2-1.
Swings over that sinker. Good swing, just couldn't make the contact with it. He's late on that sinker. 2-2 count. Can Tyler Stevenson come through?
At the belt and fires.
And that's hit the opposite way. But they're not going to risk it with 2 outs. Solid throw from the right fielder. 2 outs, bases loaded. Can Ian have come through? 3-2 count. What's going to happen? And he strikes out on a pitch that could have gone either way. You hate to see it. It's like, that's going to be a leadoff double. Fraley with a strong throw to second, but not in time. It's a leadoff double for the Brewers in the bottom of the 9th.
A lot of times in today's game, right fielders are able to get to a ball that stays in like that, but he hit that one pretty well. If he hits it
The
just
3-1 count for Tyrone Taylor. And he walks him. Oh, he's going for third. And we tag him out. Bad play. Going for third on Tyler Stevenson, and he throws him out. They could have had first and second, but threw it away.
So that's the case. You got to shut it down. Gets caught stealing there, takes himself out of scoring position.
And the 2-2.
There's another 3-2 count. Puck a little wild in this inning to start off.
Gets a piece there. We'll do it again. The pitch. Ground ball.
And that's going to not be a double play for the Reds' second error of the game. Throwing away another. That's the second double play the Reds have thrown away this game. That's a strike. Come on, Blue.
That's
a 3-1 count.
1 out. Runners at first and second.
He's in front of that fastball. And he walks him to load the bases with only 1 out to bring up
Here's the Brewers DH,
Joey Weimer.
And a pitch.
And he gets ahead of him.
All loaded up here in the last half of inning number 9.
And he strikes him out.
Now only 1 out remaining.
And now it's all down to Bryce Turan. And he walks in a run. That shouldn't be held against AJ Pug though, because it was an error that allowed them to stay on base.
Bases full, 2 gone. Next to hit, Christian Yelich.
And Yelich crushes that in the deep right field. And that's going to be a grand slam to bring the game to 8-6. The Brewers are trying to achieve the comeback.
It's 8-6.
Just relentless. This team will not quit. Well, he comes through big time with the grand slam here, but you also got to give some credit to the guys ahead of him. Good at bats to get on base and really set the table for a very special.
You're going to bring in Ronaldo Lopez to go against the righty.
He's being eased into the game here with a base.
Swings over the fastball.
Balls, 2 strikes to count with 2 outs. They tried to get him to chase on a slider down and away.
He strikes him out. So the Brewers do score 5 in the bottom of the 9th on a Christian Yelich grand slam, but they're unable to score the last 2 runs, making it a close game in the long run. What a game and what an effort from the Brewers. Finally coming through with the runners on base. So we're going to sim the rest of the season here. Sim to the postseason. Nick Lodolo, yeah. And the Reds have made the postseason. One sec, I gotta check this. Yeah, Nick Lodolo is still injured. One thing about MLB is it likes to send people down and call people up, and it's very, very annoying. So unfortunately, we do go 87-75. We clutch the wild card, which will be in next episode. And I think the things that were able to get the Reds to where they were able to get that wild card spot, which is against the New York Mets, so it's not gonna be an easy game at all. At all. I think the things that really carried to them was their pitching and not their hitting. And that's something we're going to have to look at getting in the offseason. We need a big right-handed hitter. But let's go through the stats now that the season is over. Nick Lodolo unfortunately missed a few starts toward the end of the season, getting injured and everything. But had a good bounce-back year. 26 starts, 153 innings. 3.6 ERA. The whip kind of high, so you want to get the whip lower. So 1.4 is a bit high. 2.5 WAR, great. Almost a 4 walk per 9. That's why his whip's so high. But his home runs per 9 significantly went down. Below 1. You'd love to see that. Tony. Another great year out of Tony. Even better than last year. A little less innings, but another good year. Lucas Sims. Another great year. Better than last year. Almost 100 innings on the year. I think extending him for the next few years was a great move. As well as Ronaldo Lopez, we will have him for next year. Of course, if we choose to take that option. 66 innings. Really good year. Great whip. Trade deadline acquire. Eli, my bad. 2.4. Whip below 1. You know, it doesn't get a lot better than that. AJ Puck, another trade deadline acquisition. 2.23, 1.2 whip, great. Tyler, good year. Great bounce back year after we traded for him last year. We called him up, and he was a lot better this year. 35 holds, 60 innings, 3.4. You know, that's just a solid year, and you know, you'd love to see it. Lex Diaz, 10 blown saves. We talked about this before. I wanted to let him finish the year in the closer position, but most likely starting this season, he's not going to be the closer. Most likely we're looking at him as a setup and probably giving AJ Puck the closer role. You know, he was the closer for the Marlins before we traded for him, and he was really good. It's like his ERA is good, his whip's good. He had a negative 5 WAR because of those 10 blown saves and those 6 losses. You know, so I'm looking at a better position. Hunter Green, someone a great bounce back year after last year. A little bit of worries occurred. 5 ERA, but this year 191 innings, 210 strikeouts, 1.29 WHIP, 3.5 ERA, got a complete game, 2.7 WAR. You'd love to see it. Jose Suarez, someone we traded for the deadline, looking for some pitching help, and we have him for next year, and I think he was great as well. 3.4, 1.23, 2.1 WAR. You know, we traded for him from the Angels. They were using him as a lone reliever. We used him as a starter, and I think it was great for us. Graham Ashcraft, another solid year. You know, low 4 ERA last year. This year he did even better. Almost 200 innings on the year. You know, his hits, a lot of people will get hits, but he's good at working out of it. 3.83, 1.23. Like, his numbers just went up this year. They just got better. Like, it just only got better. Paul got called up after Nick Lodolo got injured. Got 7 starts on the year, 2-2, and 38 innings on the year, 29 strikeouts, 3 ERA, 1.17 WHIP, 2 quality starts, 0.7 WAR, almost 7 strikeouts per 9. He was really good, exactly what we were looking for when we called him up, and we couldn't ask for much more. Then we have Brett Keller. We signed him not expecting much, just kind of filled the rotation, and he didn't give us much, almost a 6 ERA. I'm surprised he got a complete game shutout. 0.2 WAR. I don't even know how he got a 0.2 WAR, but he's not going to be a starter. We're going to run the 4-man starting rotation. We're going to switch that. No, we're not. We're running a 4-man ERA, and he can just be a shitty long reliever because he ain't coming back next year. TJ Fraley, I think he's going to blow next year, and I'm expecting something big from him next year after spending the most of this year in the minors. I think it really helped him 32 games this year. Low average, low slugging, OPS is low, on base is good though. So I see potential. Sam Hupp, someone we just traded for as a backup catcher. You know, we just needed a backup catcher, someone who could play first if we needed it. Sam Haggerty, someone we signed to a long-term deal just for the utility, the lefty stats, and he was alright. I mean, 736 OPS, 11 home runs. He was okay. Brian Anderson was very mid. On base kind of low, average low. You know, I think he was okay. He wasn't terrible, you know. He was a good backup player. WAR above 1. Why is Ellie De La Cruz up? Who's missing? How did he do? 26 innings, not too good. But he'll get better. Nick Senzel, he got sent down. Yeah, he did bad. He did really bad. But he's not, like, we're not going to give Ellie De La Cruz it. Bad. Let's look at the starting lineup. Gavin Lux, traded for him last year, and he had a great year. Started the year off very, very slow. Had a great on base, but his average was really struggling. But he had a career year, and OPS almost 800. You know, just a great year. I really want him to get his fielding a bit better. That's the same with Jonathan India. We got him next year, and I love how it looks, and maybe he'll get an extension depending on how he plays. And then Ania, injured for most of the year. Only played 90 games on the year since 2021, has dealt with some injury problems, had a rough year in 23, dealt with some injuries this year. With his durability only being 67, how it's going to be, but we have faith, signed him up for 5 more years, and I think it was a good deal. Only fucking 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, $27.5 million for the next 5 years, and I have faith in him. And then one of our best players, Jake Fraley, 22 home runs, 88 RBIs, average a little low, on base at 350, OPS just under 800. That's the thing about him. He's gonna get hits, and when he gets hits, they're gonna be big hits. He had 30, 33, 55 extra base hits out of his 149. 1 out of every 3 hits he got was an extra base hit. 157 games on the year. Only missed 4 games all year long. Yes, he strikes out a lot, but he walks a lot. That's the thing. 10 catches when he's stealing, you don't like to see. But he went up a lot versus lefties, which is exactly what you love to see as someone who struggles versus. Tyler Stevenson, another great year. 19 home runs, 73 RBIs. Everything he did last year, he did this year, but better. Actually, no, he didn't. His hits went down, his doubles went down, his home runs went up, his RBIs went up, his walks went up, his strikeouts went up. He had another good year, OPS at 800. He did good. He did really good. And I'm happy we locked him up, too, last year. Still got him for 5 more years until he's 32. His potential did go down, but it can always go back up. He did great. Fucking Ian Happ, up and down throughout the year. The second half kind of struggled, picked it up a little bit, but 24 home runs and 97 RBIs. Almost a career high in home runs. He hit a career high in RBIs. Almost a career high in doubles. Almost a career high in hits. He had a great year. OPS over 800, 818. And he was great. 4.7 WAR, highest WAR of his career. Played in 149 games. And I think signing him was a great move, as someone will have till he's 31. 7.3 mil for this. I think that's more than enough for someone who can play so many positions. Austin Meadows. Good, but not great. Only plays versus righties. 20 home runs, 74 RBIs, 56 walks, OPS under 800. I'm really looking for OPS above 800 as him. 0.6 WAR. I don't know if we're gonna bring him back. We might bring him back. We might not. We have a club option for $4.5 million. So we'll kind of see what happens. We might not bring him back and then see the options, and maybe we will bring him back after seeing the options. Joey Votto in his last season, because we are not bringing him back. 96 games, he dealt with injuries. 12 home runs, 47 RBIs. Not a great year. Not at all. But Joey Votto, we were going to let him finish his career here. And I have no regrets, and it really sucks because he's right below 400 home runs. And Luke Garcia, someone who started the majors and the minors for about the first 2 or 3 months. 97 games. And he had 10 home runs, 42 RBIs, 344 on base, 288 average. Average has never been his problem, but on base has. And to see him walking a career high in walks is one of the best things you want to see. You really like to see that discipline up by 6. There's a good chance he gets starting shortstop next year, because he's just 92 clutch too. He just played good, and for someone we only got for 750 grand, you love to see it. A .27 WAR, and he still has a negative WAR somehow, but he did very, very good. And Josh Lowe started the season off really good, and then just completely fell off the earth. Completely. So maybe someone who needs some time in the minors. Maybe we need to look for an outfielder in this offseason, and maybe he needs to spend some time in the minors with Ellie De La Cruz. It's a good chance that could happen. But I'm pretty sure Juan Soto comes a free agent this year. That could be cool. But we're looking more for righties. You know? And it sucks. Unfortunately, we didn't have anyone really up there in average. Not anyone in hits. We weren't any team leaders. No one did any one particular thing great. But everyone did enough. Everyone did good enough. And that's what made the team good this year. You know, the best person on our team hit 23 home runs. That's not a lot. Like, it's a lot, but it's not a lot. When you have people like Juan Soto hitting 36. People like Christian Yelich, he had 21. You know, you got Francisco over here, 34. Like, stolen bases, Tommy Edman, 39 fucking stolen bases? Are you serious, dude? Like, what? But we did have some people up there on base on balls with Jake Fraley, Gavin Lux. Like I said, Jake Fraley he has an eye. He has a great eye. On base percentage, no one really up there in the 400s. You know, our top dude's 374, which isn't bad at all, but it's not like, it's not going to be in the top 5, which I want someone in the top 5. I want someone to be like, damn, they're one of the really good players in the majors, and we will get that. I'm looking for a big offseason this year. Alexis Diaz, if he would have got those 10 saves, he would have been second. Second. ERA. No one really right up there. The highest person was Jose Suarez with the 3.42, which isn't bad, but we need that. We need that ace who's going to have that 1 ERA. Juan Soto with the MVP, batting title. Let's see, Rookie of the Year right here, Jim. Generational talent right here. 13 home runs, 56 RBI, 341 on base percentage. Wow. Just wow. No gold gloves. Third gold glove in a row for Ian Happ. Playing in left field, that's what you want to see. At least we have some good defense on our team. Any silver sluggers? How'd Pete Alonso do this year? Gonna hate going against that. So, when we get into the next game, it's going to be Hunter Green versus David Peterson in the wild card. And winner plays San Diego, which it ain't going to get any easier there. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to tell me how you want me, what moves you want me to do. Put your opinion in. Y'all have a good one.